Really, Kojima? Really? Not only do you make recycling in this game harder than it is in real life, you actually encourage people to litter by giving us a trophy for throwing unrecyclable toxic waste into a lake, and you call it a public service. Yes, Death Stranding sucks. No, Death Stranding is art. Best game ever. Kojima was false, tricksy, lied to us. Kojima is our friend. He baited us and gave us nothing. Not listening, not listening. All we ever do is fetch things for him. Guys, I should hate Death Stranding. It is one giant fetch quest. The type of padding I can't stand in most games. But I don't. Now, before I begin, I don't believe in giving traditional review scores to games. I describe them and let you decide if this is something you're interested in playing or not. But I feel like I need to state this about Death Stranding. If I was to give this game a review score, I would give it above average rating. That does not mean Death Stranding is a good game. I'd call it above average because it's above the sad state of most open-world games come out in. Bare-boned, empty wastelands that need to be patched before they even become a shell of their promised self, if they ever are. Kojima promised us an experience. And like it or not, this game worked as intended. The issue is that it was intended to be a long, monotonous, boring track across the U.S. Well, I'm Shadowwood, and this is my second ever I Did It for the Trophy. So come with me now as I review Death Stranding.
Come with me now.
Story. I love Kojima stories. They are so delightfully twisted. Me too. I admit it, I'm a Kojima fan. I enjoy his bizarre narratives that rarely make any sense, but are so interesting to watch them unfold. But this is not one of his best works now, is it, precious? No. This is far from this magnum opus Metal Gear, but he may never be able to work with that series again. I've heard the rumors that Kojima might be able to return to the Metal Gear saga one day, but that is just a hope, and Death Stranding is now. In this game, the world of the dead has become intertwined with the world of the living, leaving some of the dead stranded between worlds. Mankind is barely hanging on with only a few remaining cities and scattered survivors across the land. You play as Sam Porter Bridges, son of the president, tasked with crossing the U.S. and connecting the survivors with a new American internet. How do you do this? By making deliveries to all the distant shelters and always remembering to include the latest version of America Online. Yes, you're basically a glorified FedEx driver, and we're going to save that for gameplay. Sam doesn't care about rebuilding America. He is interested in rescuing Amelie, his sister. Alright, this is the first hurdle I had to get over. It is implied that Sam and Amelie are family, but from the impressions they give, they are acting like lovers. We soon see Amelie interacting with Sam back when he was just a kid, and she was already a full-grown woman. This caused me to worry that the game had a whole Oedipus complex going. Don't worry, their relationship is explained in the end, and it is bizarre as hell, even weirder than what I'm describing here. But from the start, it rubbed me the wrong way, and grossed me out. Which didn't do well for the game, because this game is all about the connection you have with Amelie, connecting across America, the connection you have with all the other NPCs, but most importantly, the connection you have with BB. BB is that little weird-ass baby on your chest. In truth, the story about BB goes far past your story with Bridget. By the time you're done with the main conflict, you're not done with the story of BB. I felt BB's story was definitely the high point of the game, and the mystery concerning the images you saw through BB's eyes, looking out of his pod, various cutscenes, watching this strange man carrying you around. Not Sam, someone else.
What about the names, Precious? These characters couldn't have been named any worse. Heartman, Deadman, Postman. How unimaginative. Giving everything away before we even meet them.
I actually found the names of the characters to be perfect. They fit each character like a glove, while being completely wrong for them at the same time. The best example of this is Fragile.
Woman, shut up.
She is anything but fragile. When you witness the scene where Fragile has to run through the timefall rain to save the lives of the people who hate her, you realize this hero is anything but fragile.
Oh, can we tell them about Cliff?
No.
Oh, Harry wants to tell them about Cliff. Oh, can we tell them about Cliff? Please let us tell them about Cliff.
No. I'm not doing any spoilers here. You learn about Fragile's condition early on in the game, and you actually see the effects of it in the first cutscene. You don't see her running through the rain until mid-game, and it was fucked up and worth the wait. Two best characters in the game are Die Hardman, Tommy Earl Jenkins, and Cliff, Mads Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen won the VGA Video Game Award for his performance of Cliff within the Stranding. Personally, I love Jenkins' performance.
You know why they call me Die Hardman? Because he wouldn't let me die. He brought my sorry ass back home every time.
Ironically, I felt Norman Reedus gave the weakest performance as the game's main character, Sam. I believe this was done on purpose. Reedus' performance is flat, monotone, low energy, but works well with all the other over-the-top ridiculous characters we meet in the game. Gameplay. Golem.
Gameplay sucks. It's the worst part of Death Stranding. All you do is walk around and nothing happens. Everything is just an obstacle to get in your way. Whether it's the stupid streams or the rivers, enemies, the BTs, nothing about it is enjoyable. Crossing Middle Earth while traveling with a pack of prequel dwarfs would be more fun than this.
He's not wrong. Gameplay is the worst part of Death Stranding. It is functional and very well made, but the entire game is literally take A to B while C, D, and E try to F you up. Don't get me wrong, this game does have incredible moments. The first few times you have to sneak past BTs, breach things, the undead enemies trying to bring you down, is great. The baby on your chest, reveals the direction and the distance to the BTs. You have to use this mechanic to safely slip past the BTs. But by the time you're sneaking past your 20th group of BTs, you're sick of them. The interruption by the BTs is shown perfectly in this clip. BTs can't get you when they're on the road. That's one of the reasons why you build them. But if you're driving past a group, the game will make you stop once while entering the area while your vehicle loses power. Then stop a second later when your BT detector goes off. The BTs feel less like a challenge to overcome, but rather an interruption that needs to be dealt with. To be honest, most of the game feels like an interruption. Want to take a shower? You either have to watch the entire cutscene or skip 4 separate scenes. Delivering cargo? Even if you turn auto skip on, the game will turn it off a second later for no reason. I've made an entire video about the human enemies called mules. The game wants you to incapacitate them, because killing is bad. But in my video I concluded that fuck the mules. Kill them all, it makes the game easier.
But what about multiplayer? You loved multiplayer.
To call it multiplayer is a lie. You never see or interact with any of the other players, but you will get to affect the world, and they will get to infect yours. And I love this. As you bring America online, ladders, ropes, storage containers, generators, zip lines, roads, and vehicles will start appearing in your world. These are things built by other players to help them in their game, and you can use them in yours. I loved finding a perfect bridge at the perfect spot to make my deliveries easier. I loved making things to not only make my game easier, but everyone's. I built every road you possibly could. Not because I needed to, not because there was a trophy tied to it, but because I liked it. I liked the idea that I was not only making my journey easier, but I was making someone else's. Sometimes I'd find supplies donated by other players, or even entire sections of road that had already been built by someone else. And I began to wonder how much of my vast network of roads would other players see. Will they only see bits and pieces of it when they play their game, or will they see an entire highway that I built? Let me know if you ever find a patch of road built by Shadowwood.
And when you become lost between the world of the living and the land of the dead, and you have to make our way through some of history's most horrifying wars, those parts were wonderful.
Yes, they were. And they were made that much better by the fact that I had to slog through so much shit to get to them. I know it sounds strange, but making it to the ocean, the other side of the continent, felt like I'd overcome a difficult boss in Dark Souls. Dark Souls is an incredibly challenging game that gives you the feeling of accomplishment when you beat one of the game's ridiculous bosses. I had that same feeling when I finished my journey across the US. This is also the end of most of the gameplay. Like other Kojima games, it becomes more of a movie, with some gameplay and a few boss fights. I guess I should take a moment to talk about the boss fights. The boss fights suck, and there's only one of them that's any good, but I'm not going to spoil that one here. The one you're looking at on the screen is actually the final boss of the game, and it is the worst boss fight of the bunch. Oh, it looks great from the spectacle, but it sucks ass to play. Trophies. It wasn't the trophies that made me like this game. I am a trophy hunter, and that's why I liked this game. I love planning my routes, optimizing my cargo, grouping my shipments together to make my deliveries as effective as possible. I kept on saying one more delivery late into the night, even when I had to be at work in the morning. If you're looking for an easy platinum, Death Stranding is a game for you. There's nothing challenging about 100%ing Death Stranding, other than the grind. And this game is one giant grind. The hardest thing I had to do was Best Beloved. To get this, you need to get all settlements up to a 5-star happiness rating. But sometimes, settlements don't give you stars for deliveries. I'd roll into the shelter with enough goods to boost them up to max level, but only get credit for one delivery. You can make multiple deliveries to get stars, but watch out because they don't always count. To avoid this, take multiple deliveries to a shelter and deliver them one at a time. If any of your shipments stop gaining you stars, stop and reload your game from the last autosave. This is caused when certain settlements reach a certain level. When they do, they actually have a special request for you, but this special request doesn't always appear. If you stop receiving stars at a shelter, check your emails. See if you have a special request in there. If you don't, go to sleep in one of the private rooms, wake up the next day, and check your emails again. You should see the special request. Then you'll be able to take that special order from that shelter, complete it, and start earning stars again. I can't tell you how many hours I wasted bringing shipments to shelters only for them not to count. Now, according to America Online, the least achieved trophy in the game is Growth of a Legend. This is not because it's difficult, but most people simply don't bother making deliveries any harder than they need to. To get this trophy, you'll have to make 20 legendary deliveries. Setting a delivery to legendary does one of two things: increase the number of cargo you'll need to deliver, or reduce the time you have to make the delivery in. Both of these are pretty easy to complete, especially late game. Increasing the difficulty also aids you with another trophy, Great Deliverer. To get this, you'll need to reach maximum likes in each delivery field, Since legendary deliveries give you more likes, doing this will help you finish Great Deliverer faster. You also need to collect items scattered across the land, so use a guide. But don't worry, none of these areas become inaccessible for very long. Early in the game, you board a boat that takes you across Crater Lake. When I did this, I was wondering if I would be able to come back and clean up the things I had missed in the starting area. But I didn't need to worry. Once you progress a little further in the story, you unlock fast travel. Unfortunately, you can't fast travel to deliver. But the fast travel lets you return to the original area and clean up anything. You can even do this post-game after you've beaten the whole thing, making all of it much easier. Value.
This game brought to you by Monster Energy. You will need Monster Energy to complete this game, because this game is so boring you will need Monster Energy to complete it.
We're only a few months away from Death Stranding being released on PC. You can currently pre-order the game on Steam for $60.
Don't pre-order the game on Steam.
Right now, you can find Death Stranding for sale on the PlayStation Store for the low price of $60.
Don't buy this game on Sony.
Used copies of the game are going for about $45. Honestly, this game is so divisive, I can't recommend you buy this game for anything more than $40. If you can find this game on sale for $20, I recommend picking it up just to see if it's something you're interested in. But at full price, it's just not worth the risk. If my video or any other media out there has sparked your curiosity about Death Stranding, I recommend you play this game. This game is truly a piece of art, and like all art, it must be experienced. I just don't think this game is worth a $60 price tag. Plenty of people have loved this game, but a lot more have hated it. Wait till this game goes on sale because you might hate everything about this game.
If you're a Kojima fan like I am, then why haven't you bought the game yet?
Yes, if you are a Kojima fan, you should have already bought the game. This is definitely not his best work, but it was still a lot of fun for me, since I enjoy the way he tells stories. And yeah, I paid full price for an America Online delivery simulator, and enjoyed it.
Yes, most of us like the game, but we are far from normal.
Well, this has been Shadowwood, and then I give this game a like from Heartman.